Hey guys, it's Scott here from the fragrance channel, Scott Aromatico, and I'm glad you guys found me because you are in for a big treat. Today I have none other than Ross Carlos from tltg reviews, guys. I am super excited to have him. Let's not waste any time. Without any further ado, let's just jump right into the video. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this with me. It's an honor. I really appreciate it.
It's my privilege and my pleasure, man. I love doing stuff like this. You know, it's not this format's not something I do often. You know, I usually don't get asked to do it. But I saw what you did with Steve, and I appreciate you guys bringing me up over and over. but it was a good video. I actually watched it start to finish. 49 minutes. That means I was in. You know.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Thank you. I know that was a long one. That I debated. I even asked Steve. I said, "Do you think I should do a two-parter?" Or he's like, "Nah, just put it all out there.
Just let it roll." Like, some people will watch 5 minutes. Some people will watch. That's every video.
And I told my wife it was too good because my wife's like, "Man, that was really." My wife, she can be critical, and she was like, "That was really good." She said, "Just put the whole thing out there." And I was like, "All right, I'll see what
came out really, really good."
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and he's been so nice to me, man. He's been so good to me.
Steve is a one of a kind guy, you know.
Yeah.
Excited for him. They're expecting their first child here in a few months.
I know. That's crazy. I was like so happy for him.
I've been to Steve's house a ton of times. We've met up for lunch a bunch of times. Steve's a very good friend of mine. He's the thing I miss about Texas is being.
That's what I was just gonna say. Okay.
I was 40 minutes away from Steve. So.
Oh man.
When I started my channel, the reason I started it was because I didn't have anybody to talk to.
Oh, that's what Steve
said.
And
I discovered the community, and I was camera shy. I had been wanting to start my channel for 2 years prior to me doing my first video. And finally, just one day, my wife said, "Just press record. You don't have to post anything. Just go record something." And I did, and that's
what a smart lady.
July 12th will make 2 years since that video. So,
wow, that's how long you've been doing this?
Yeah, July 12th will make 2 years since I posted my first video. So now every July 12th, I'm going to make it a ritual. Because that first video was top 10 not so citrusy summer fragrances.
Yeah.
So every year on July 12th, I did it this past year. I'm going to do it again this year.
Man, you were killing it. 2 years. Wow.
I love this stuff, man.
Yeah, I chose.
Yeah, I absolutely. I'm sure you can tell as many others can. I wear my emotions on my sleeve. You can see when I'm really happy, when I'm blown away, when I don't like something, when I do like something. I'm that guy. I wear my emotions on my sleeve.
That's what I told Steve. I was like, what I like about you is it's and I told you this in comments a long time ago. You may remember me saying that, you may not, and you said you got this before, but you seem like that guy I could have a cup of coffee with in the morning, or at night I could go have a beer with, and we could just shoot the crap.
I get the beer comment a lot.
That's how you come across. So I think that's good for the everyday person.
I'm that guy. I'm that guy you like shooting the shit with at work. Excuse my language. I'm that guy you like shooting the shit with at work that just so happens to like fragrances as much as you.
See, now Jeremy Fragrance brought me to this. I started this a year ago in March, and I had no idea this was a community. I just think I had one bottle. It was Acqua di Gio, and all of a sudden I'd go on these deep dives on YouTube, and I saw him and I watched him, and then I was like, wow, I didn't even know there were notes and pyramids, and it was just something to do during the pandemic to keep me busy. And then I just kind of went all in and got crazy and started studying stuff and reading note breakdowns and trying to buy kits so I can discern what's in a fragrance, buying the essential oils so I could try. And I was just going crazy over it. Like my family thinks I'm nuts, but they're all in now. After a while, they're all in now. But Jeremy's what brought me in. But then the reason why I gravitated towards you is because I see Jeremy and he looks like this guy that should be walking down a runway, and I can't relate to that. So
I give him that. He's shredded.
Yeah,
he's a German boy band,
I have nothing.
German boy bands. So.
I have nothing. Like I was telling somebody, what I try to do with everybody is, whether it's you or Redolescence or I don't care, just name somebody. I treat everybody like a buffet. There's stuff up at the buffet I don't like, but that doesn't keep me from going up. So the stuff I don't like, I leave behind, and the stuff I do like, I take it. So there's something you can pick apart about everybody, but I just choose to find the good in everybody and take that. That's how I do it.
That's actually, it's funny you say that because that's kind of my philosophy with fragrances. Most of the time I can find the good in pretty much every fragrance.
Me too.
It actually pained me because I just did a review on that new fresh flanker to the Ferragamo Subtle fragrance, and it pained me to have, you know, pretty much terrible things to say about it. I don't want to be negative on my channel, but you know, I'd rather save somebody the $17 because it's very underwhelming, you know. Normally you love Ferragamo. Good, you know.
Yeah, you love Ferragamo because I remember you like the.
That's one of my favorite houses. I love them, especially once they hit the discounters, they get cheap. You know,
I bought my first Ferragamo because of one of your videos. So
I appreciate that.
I used to go to the park on my lunch break and sit on a picnic table and just eat my lunch and watch you because your videos always seem to come out at lunchtime. So I would just wait for it to come out, hit the play, and just eat my lunch.
I appreciate that, Scott.
Yeah. Oh, no worries, man. All right, man. So just could you tell us a little bit about you and that you think the viewers would want to know or that you're willing to share with the viewers? Where'd you already said a little bit. You grew up in Louisiana, right?
Born and raised in South Louisiana, 52 miles southwest of New Orleans, in a little town called Homme. I say little, but the population is close to 100,000 at this point, so it's not that little. And then really had aspirations of getting out of there. I mean, the best part about South Louisiana is the food, obviously. And, you know, I had opportunity present itself for me to go work at a privately owned Mercedes dealer, like I was saying earlier. So to go work for my uncle, and did that for a few years until he ended up leaving. Tried going to Toyota with him, didn't care for it over there, and bounced to Jaguar Land Rover with my other boss from Mercedes. And it was to where things were starting to get to where we were just tired of where we were. We're kind of sick of the heat, ready for a change. We've always wanted to move to Colorado because we have family here. And we just decided after my father-in-law had his accident, he fell off a cliff on a dirt bike with my nephews. He's got reconstructed ribs. He coded twice. He actually died on the table and everything. So my wife came visit and came back and said, yeah, I want to move. So we started making a plan over the 6 months. And then we came out in the beginning of November to look for an apartment and surprise them and sprung it on them. They were all excited. And then weekend of Thanksgiving, we moved out here. And I got to tell you, from a quality of life standpoint, it's the best decision I've ever made besides marrying my wife. I absolutely love the climate and the scenery here. It is awesome.
I've never, the furthest out west I've been is Vegas, and it was like 10 years ago, and I haven't been out that way. I want to check it out one day.
I mean, the mountains, I'm right by the foot of Pikes Peak. I mean, it's gorgeous here, man. It really is.
I'm glad you're happy. That's good.
Yeah.
More at peace, more happy, and it'll probably show even more in your content.
I'm much more laid back these days. I'm not on edge as much as I used to be, you know.
I've never detected any of that in your videos, though. I'm not going to lie and say I watch every video you put out, but I watch a lot of them. I've never detected anything weird, but I guess I just don't know you well enough to detect it.
Well, it's not that I was on edge on video. This is an escape for me, creating these videos. This is part of my life. Like I get comments about the consistency and the daily grind and all that, and I appreciate all those comments, but I can't imagine not having content every day because I just love creating content. I love talking about fragrances. I love shedding light on little small houses, you know, because
that's awesome.
There's little houses that are doing great stuff, whether it's clones or inspired or originals that deserve the spotlight. And I love that they want me to do a video on, you know what I mean? That never gets old for me. It never gets old.
What's the event or what's the thing that triggered you, or maybe triggered's not the word, that inspired you to dive into fragrances? What is that one thing that happened that got you into it?
The fragrance that actually really made me start getting a little bit more serious about this, I've touched on this in other videos before, Dolce&Gabbana Light Blue. This is like my third bottle. I got this on clearance for like $10. That's why I got a 40 ml this time around.
It's a good fragrance.
I mean, I grew up Tommy, Nautica, all those fragrances, you know. Pierre Cardin, the little splash bottle was my very first fragrance. I even remember that from when I was like 6 or 7. That was my first bottle ever. I've always appreciated a fragrance as part of a wardrobe for when you dress up.
Yeah.
Going to church, going to dinner after church, dinner with the family, whatever. Even as a child, I've always treated a fragrance that way. So I've always kind of held it as something special, if you will. It's always been kind of special to me. And I've always worn something. And then once that came out, I fell in love with the scent so much. It really made me start wanting to have more variety instead of just 1 or 2 bottles. It made me start wanting to have 5 to 10 at a time. And then over time, that just started to evolve more and more and more. And it got to a point, I mean, I had got to 80 bottles years ago at a certain point. You know what I mean? I've rebought so many fragrances, but my palate started craving different things and wanting to try new things. And
now, is this all before you became a YouTuber?
This is before, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is before. I've had the passion, and it was kind of a secretive passion. I mean, my wife's known about it for years, but even my own family didn't realize. I mean, they would, oh, what are you wearing? That kind of stuff all the time, but it was never, I'd jump into a big conversation about it when they would do that. Whereas nowadays, I jump into a conversation about it because those around me know that I have this channel and what I do. So they want to talk about it. They're purposely engaging me to talk about it. So it's different nowadays, obviously.
It seems like if you're a little bit more successful, they can't really argue it.
Well, and it's not even really about success. I mean, it still blows me away today, even now, that, you know, thousands of people at this point care what I have to say on a daily basis about fragrances. It's very, very humbling. I can't imagine that ever going away, because it still blows my wife away. You know what I mean? It's so awesome that there's so many like-minded people out there. And that's the beauty of social media and the internet these days. For all the evils that it provides, there's a lot of beauties that it provides with connecting people.
I agree.
To different groups and communities that 15 years ago we didn't know existed. You know, you and I wouldn't have never, if it wasn't for this, if this was 20 years ago, you and I wouldn't know who each other are.
I know.
And we're able to do this right now over the internet with, you know, webcams and stuff like that. And you'll post this on your YouTube channel for others to see. And it's crazy how things change over time.
I know, it's crazy, man. It's unbelievable. So my question to you is you don't strike me as this kind of guy, but I'll just ask the question because I asked Steve, were you hesitant to tell people? Were you embarrassed about it? Because, you know, some people, you know, they might not understand that you have hundreds of fragrances and they're like, well, why don't you do something better with your money? Or, you know, do you know what I'm saying? Did you ever have that reservation or that embarrassment? Or
absolutely. I don't know if you ever saw the interview that I did with George on the Zaharoff channel, the reviewer episode.
No, I don't know if I saw that one.
So in that one, because a lot of this was actually covered there, actually.
I might have. I saw when you went to Chicago.
Yeah. Well, I have videos on my channel. So it's one of those things, like George said in that video, it's that I was afraid that it was looked at as too feminine or gay or any of that stuff. And that's kind of the mentality. Before you know of other like-minded individuals, before you discover this community, maybe you're not so apt to have that conversation. And the joke I made in that video was about light blue. Like, hey man, you heard about Dolce&Gabbana's newest release? I never found myself in a situation to have that conversation with anyone.
Yeah.
You know? So it was, like I said, it was kind of a private passion and hobby for the longest time that only my wife really knew I had. And then it blindsided people when I created my channel. People that have known me for, you know, my whole life or for 10 plus years. They didn't see that coming. They had no idea, because it's never a conversation that I had.
Yeah.
My own mother had no idea I was that into it, because it was never something I was just openly talking to anyone about.
Yeah, my as far as my mom and dad or my wife's mom and dad and stuff like that, they have no clue. And like people, a lot of my best friend at work, he knows, and he's my best friend. He supports me everything I do, so he's cool like that. But people at work, they have no clue, and you know, I'm just kind of doing my thing.
Well, it was even like how I have everything on display now. I used to have everything in drawers. So my mom would come over and she'd have no idea, because all my fragrances were in drawers, except for maybe what I was wearing that day would be out on the counter.
Is that so people wouldn't see, or is that just where you kept them?
It was just where I kept them, pretty much. It was one of those things where it wasn't prideful to display.
Okay.
Now the collection's gotten so abundant that I have to have everything to where I can see it easy. Stuff gets, I say it in the videos a lot of stuff gets lost in the shuffle. There'll be fragrances. There's fragrances that I absolutely love the way they smell, and I'll forget I have them.
Me too.
And when I smell them again, I fall in love with it all over again. So that's kind of a cool thing, really.
I go and reach for one. Like the other day, I went to reach for one. I was like, oh, F Black. I haven't worn that in like 6 months. I need to wear F Black. And then I forgot to wear it.
That's what made me do a full review on it the other day. I hadn't worn it in months.
Yeah.
And I pulled it out and wore it. And I said, you know what? I haven't really gone in depth on this one. Let me do a video on this one. You know,
it's nice.
There's
it's
endless content.
I know. It's crazy.
Endless content.
It's crazy. Crazy question. Do you have a favorite fragrance YouTuber?
Well, my favorite that really got
put you on the spot.
Unfortunately, we just recently lost. Carlos was my favorite. Loved Carlos.
Yeah, rest in peace.
And I had the pleasure of meeting Carlos and back in 2019 at Scent Explore. And I mean,
I love that picture.
He's such a ball of energy. He could light up a room. I did that video on Steven's channel with the two of them. I forgot which fragrance it was even on, because there was a media room. Everybody was shooting content. But man, everybody has their faults. Everybody has their downfalls and their demons. But that man was such a nice guy. The collaboration that I had you on, that we did for the end of the year, I had Carlos on there. I never would have guessed that would have been the last time I would have had Carlos on my channel.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Makes me, because look, I had plans on New Year's Eve at my in-laws, and he wanted me to be on the live he did for New Year's. And
I watched his live.
I just popped in at the beginning to say hi and everything, and told Steven hello and all, because Steven was moderating in the comments. I stopped by for a few minutes, and he was disappointed. He was upset that I didn't jump in there, but he understood. But man, hindsight's 2020, and it's such a regret now. I wish I would have called and said, look, we're gonna be a little late. I'm gonna do this for like 30 minutes or something. But it is what it is. It's very unfortunate. You know, he's an original, a pioneer, Mr. Short and Sweet.
Yeah.
He's educated a lot of us on fragrances.
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of his, and he's messaged me a few times and DMs and stuff. I not a ton, but he subscribed to my channel, to my YouTube channel. I didn't have to do that. And a couple times I've asked him some questions, and he'd get back to me, and maybe not right away all the time, because I'm sure as you know, I'm sure your inboxes fill up a lot with all kinds of craziness. So
I do get a lot of
he would get back to me eventually, which I always thought was super cool. And
he was a good spirit. He really was. And
absolutely.
We wouldn't talk every week, but every 2 or 3 weeks. And it was usually him. He'd text me some wild, smart ass thing out of the blue, to spark the conversation, and we'd text back and forth.
Yeah.
And it was always upbeat and always fun.
Yeah, man. And that's awesome.
It's sad, man. I had a real good cry the day we found out. The community lost a great person.
It was a crazy day.
Yeah,
crazy day for sure. Well, I'm glad you brought it up, because I feel like he needs tribute, and even still, like, I don't want people to forget about him, because it's easy for everybody to post pictures to get likes, and I'm not saying people would do that and to be a part of it, but I don't want to forget about him, because he did influence me along with you and Steven and Max, and so
he was who I was most excited to meet when I went to New York. Him and Justin. That
picture with all you guys is so epic.
I hate the one with my eyes closed, is the one that gets used the most. There's another one where my eyes are open.
Who would have thought that? Were all you guys already pretty, just off the cuff? So were all you guys pretty big influencers in that picture, or what?
I was in the 3,000 some odd subscriber range at that point. The pandemic was really good to me. Yeah. May was when my subscriber count and my views really started to go up. Everybody was at home, and I was on the right. I had made some changes to the channel with my thumbnails and my titling and my tags, because if you notice in my descriptions, it's changed, and the way I tag in the tag section. I started making a lot of analytical changes, and the timing was just right. And that's when my channel just started to grow, and it's been just steady ever since, So the pandemic was really good to me. But at that point, I was like at 3,500 subscribers going into because that was November 2nd of 2019. And my channel was July to August, September, October, November. My channel was about 4.5 months old at that point.
It's crazy that everybody in that picture, you know, to somebody like me, and you guys may not realize it, but to somebody like me, or, you know, some of these other small time channels, you're the rock stars to us. And so it's crazy how everybody in that picture is a rock star, like, you know, has
I don't know if I go that far. You know, outside of Demi and Jeremy, I don't know who else rock stars, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And look,
I mean,
I gotta say, look, I actually recorded a video on Jeremy's phone for him because look, women were throwing themselves all over Jeremy over there.
yeah.
Jeremy is a character on his videos, and he's nuts, but in person, he's actually nothing like that.
No,
No, I really believe it's just a show he's putting on
yeah,
video.
yeah.
Jeremy's actually very calm and cool and collected.
Yeah, yeah.
When I met him, he was.
Yeah.
And on video, he's a character. He is a character.
He is. Like I said, I choose to find the things that he does good. So I don't worry about the other stuff.
He is the biggest of all of us.
Man, it's crazy. Epic. So what is your favorite designer house as far as fragrance goes? Do you have one house you like the best?
It's tough.
Put you on the spot.
Used to be Hugo Boss.
Okay.
Used to be Hugo Boss. It's kind of shifted to Dior because of the Dior Homme line. I love the Sauvage line, obviously, but the Dior Homme line is very near and dear to me. So near and dear that I actually don't wear them enough. I hold them in such high regard. It's weird.
I know what you mean. That's how I do my Zaharoff.
Like look, I wear Zaharoff signature pour when I wear a suit. I don't wear it any other time.
Yeah, I know. I know.
And look, it works great with a t-shirt. It works great with a V-neck like I'm wearing, but it's just I put it on that pedestal. Certain fragrances like that.
Me too. I do that too. Mine is
I think Dior. I think I'm gonna have to go Dior.
Okay. Mine is the IDL line, you know, by Guerlain.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I don't know if that's designer or not. Some people say it's niche, but to me it's designer, and it's my favorite line.
It's a designer line.
Yeah.
It's very designer. It's high quality designer.
I love all the stuff in that line, and I'm also starting to really like the quality that's in the Angel line for Mugler, like pure Havane and pure tobacco and pure coffee. And I just stupidly, don't judge me, I just stupidly ordered a bottle of Ultra Zest, which is I paid. Christ. I know.
Tell me you're just trying to complete the line.
I am. Okay.
Don't judge. That's because look, at some point, a lot of people go through that where they want to collect the Amen line, and because so many of them are crazy priced, I'm sitting back on pure malt and pure coffee and just whatever.
Yeah. I didn't. It wasn't too bad. It was used.
It was used. To get pure Tonka. It's just I don't want to spend the money that they're costing at this point. You know.
Yeah. I found it used for a pretty decent price, so I'm okay with it. It wasn't it wasn't over 200.
To where you have the amount of bottles we have, partials are fine.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll never go through the partial.
How about niche? Is Zaharoff your favorite niche?
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
I would say a close second.
Can I guess?
This is another one that I don't even wait. You're going to thank Argos, but actually they're a third.
You caught me.
I hold them in such high regard as well that I don't wear them enough as Kajal, and I have almost all of them.
I don't have that.
They're so good. I
don't know what I'm waiting for.
They're all right here, and Lamar's my favorite. I
know. I saw you talk about it the other day. I gotta jump on that. Maybe when the stimulus.
Because look, I love floral fragrances. It's fruity up top. It's got this marigold and rose. The marigold really changes the floral aspect. It's woody. It's got a touch of ambroxan. It's so good. It's powerful.
All year round.
Oh well, easy on the sprays. If you're gonna wear it in the summer for sure. Okay. But it's meat in a bottle. It's got a little bit of spice. It's got some citrus up top. It's got some florals. All the things I love about a fragrance.
Okay. I gotta jump on that.
That's me in a bottle.
What's your favorite thing about doing YouTube?
There's a lot of things I love about doing YouTube. I would say probably the constant interaction.
Yeah.
There's constant interaction.
It's fun.
Because you'll always know I read your comment because I clicked the heart.
Yeah.
I might not respond to every single comment, but you'll always know I saw it and read it when I clicked the heart. That's why
I don't know how you'd have time to respond to all of them.
A lot. In the mornings when the video first goes live, and that first hour is when it becomes a lot, because I wake up to a ton of comments from those in the Middle East and overseas that had their daytime that were watching the video. So I have all those, and then I have the new ones coming in from the new video. And so look, that's one thing I always wanted to never lose sight of, that no matter how much the channel grows, I have to make it a point to still be that guy.
To engage.
That's one of the many reasons I've learned that people like to watch me, is because I interact so much. So I need to always stay true to that and never let it become too much.
I believe in not to get deep, and it doesn't matter, you know, no one has to believe like me. I just believe in sowing and reaping. It's a law just like gravity. And whatever you sow, that's what you reap. And if you put the time into people, they'll put the time into you.
It's pretty wise. I like that.
That's what I think. But
what you put out is what you get back.
Yeah, yeah. What goes around comes around, like my dad always said. Okay, so what's your least favorite thing about doing YouTube?
That one jackass that has to do a thumbs down in the first 2 minutes.
I know.
And look, you got to be subscribed to me to know in the first 2 minutes when the video comes live.
I know. Steve said the same thing.
Yeah, because there's people that subscribe just to hate. Just like, look, let's be honest. And if you're that guy that's watching this video, let me look into the camera. You're not hurting me by giving me a view even for 3 seconds and clicking something to hit the algorithm. Thank you for being an idiot.
I know. That's what I said.
I mean,
that's what
you're not hurting me.
Yes. The best thing he could do to hurt you was to
not watch and
unsubscribe. Instead, he still watches and he hits the thumbs down button.
Look, man, there's people that live to troll. It's just what it is. It comes with the territory of putting yourself out there and on the internet. You know?
I know I had a guy that I was killing him with kindness and it wasn't working. And every video he would tell me I picked the wrong thing and I was stupid and designers suck and this sucks. And I finally just said to my wife, I was like, all right, I've given that guy all I can. I've been as nice as all his comments. I responded nicely to him and I just hit the boop, you're blocked.
The bigger your channel gets, the more crap you're going to have to deal with like that. You just got to learn to let it roll off your back.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's not always.
Because as you gain subscribers, you got to look at the positives, and the silver lining is there's that many more people that want to watch you, that respect your opinion, that want to come see you every time you post a video. That's who you're doing it for. That's who you're talking to. You're not talking to these guys that want to be hateful just to be hateful.
That's a good way of looking at it.
That's Absolutely. What I've learned to. That's how I've learned to look at it. You
got to focus that way. Yeah, that's true. It's easy to just think about
more people that care than people that don't.
So my next question you just answered, so I don't have to ask it. I was going to ask you, what do you do about negative commenters? Because I know a lot of people who start up, maybe they're afraid to do YouTube because of that, or they're starting out and they don't know what to do about those guys, but you pretty much just answered it. So
you gotta have thick skin.
Yeah, you do.
You just do. You got to learn to let it roll off your back.
Can you develop that over time, or you either have it or you don't?
Yeah, I mean, I used to work in the oil field. I used to work offshore for years and years before I got in the car business, and that's a different brotherhood where you torment each other, and you got to have thick skin. You know,
yeah.
Those that can't develop the thick skin don't make it.
Yeah.
You know, because you're going to get picked on like no other, and you're going to learn to dish it and all that. Really mess with another guy. You know what I mean? Push them in a loving manner, but it doesn't seem loving. That's where you can develop that type of stuff.
I think I heard you tell George, you did a live with him, and if you cared about what other people said, you wouldn't even have your channel. So you kind of
that
not.
Was on Instagram. Yeah, because they had somebody in the comments call me a kiss ass.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever.
I was there for that.
Yeah, if that kind of stuff bothered me, I would have deleted my channel a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, but for every one of those people, I'm sure you have good, feedback and good interaction that makes it all worthwhile. That's what you got to remember.
And look, as I would like to elaborate on that actually, because in regards to George, Christian, Mo with Kajal, these are wonderful human beings that put out incredible products.
Yes.
What am I kissing ass for? Their work proves what they're doing. It's genuine,
I know. That's like the
cool with Christian. He's a stand-up guy. I did a live with Christian not that long ago. Stand-up guy. Everything's hand poured. He is the perfumer. Yeah, he's such a cool guy. He really is. He came to Vail recently, and if you saw him at live, we were supposed to hook up, and something came up, and I wasn't able to go. I had to cancel like 4 days ahead, so I had to miss out. It was a week ago. Or 5-6 days ago. He was 3 hours down the road. So that's
he told me in that call that he likes to ski with the family.
Yep.
That's cool, man. Yeah, that's like what I was going to say is with George and with Christian, and I don't know the guy you mentioned, was it Mo?
Mo.
I don't know him. But the products,
he's not as out there in the public eye as George and Christian are.
Yeah. It's that it works so well for them because it makes me think
out there like George is.
No, nobody is. But it makes me want to go the extra mile for him because he goes the extra mile for me. So then I want to buy his stuff and I want to tell everybody I meet about him because of the person he is. The products already sell themselves. George doesn't need me. They're so damn good that he don't need me, but because of the man he is and his attention to detail tells me everything I need to know about the company. And same with Christian. You know, you take a 30 ml, it'd be easy for you to cut corners and not make that bottle worth a damn, you know, for Argos. Instead, he makes the atomizer super amazing. The glass is still heavy and all the attention to detail is ridiculous. A lot of people would cut corners on a smaller bottle.
He listens. Look, the complaints for the bigger bottles, and I was one of the ones.
Yeah.
The collar didn't click into place. So you couldn't pick the bottle up from the cap, even just to move across a desk. And the caps were kind of light because they were only like 25-30% metal. Now they're solid metal. The caps click into place. He's got those new micro atomizers, glass ball retainer on the inside.
It's ridiculous.
And look, all the new bottles moving, the big bottles moving forward are going to have that as well. It got introduced in the 30 ml. So
if it wasn't so expensive, I'd spray it more just to hear it.
They are such good fragrances, and it's all about the details.
Yeah,
that goes a long way. Because look, let's face it, this is becoming a flooded market.
It is.
With so many perfume houses coming out with things that to separate yourself, you have to pay attention to the details.
And like I said, the products sell themselves because Trial Bacchus is
so good.
It's a triumph. It's amazing. It's so good. So
absolutely.
Do you recommend any certain equipment or anything to do these videos?
Lighting and audio matter a lot. Even if you don't have the best video quality, lighting can help that a little bit.
Yeah.
And audio. Like I know Steve mentioned his lapel mic. That's what I usually use as well on my collar.
I still don't have
I have a little desk ring light right now that's like, it's not the best lighting, but it's something. Because you see my main ring lights right there.
Yeah, I see.
I actually do a combination of the cool lighting and the warm lighting. You can always see the reflections in bottles and stuff. I do plan on upgrading my lighting here in the next few months, but that's really all you need is a decent ring light and a microphone. And I've been using this Note 10 for the longest time. I don't even use the full features of it. I don't do 4K 60 FPS. I do 1080p 30 FPS because of the autofocus. The autofocus is so good at 30 FPS on this camera.
Yeah.
If you ever notice, when I put a bottle up to it, it focuses almost immediately.
That's awesome.
Pull back, it immediately focuses back on me. Every camera I've ever tried doesn't focus that quickly.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there's higher quality from some of these cameras, but the trade-off, I feel like the autofocus is worth it. So until that becomes not viable enough for me, I don't plan on getting another camera.
You like what you're using?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Awesome. And I bet you would probably recommend, because I didn't see this. I watch another YouTuber who does travel stuff, and he has an amazing channel. And he did one video about starting a YouTube channel and what it takes. And this one of the reasons why I started my channel was because of his video, and also because I wanted to inspire my kids. This is nervous for me. It's nerve-wracking. Even talking to you right now is nerve-wracking. But I can't tell my kids in good faith to go chase their dreams and take a risk and do what makes you uncomfortable if I'm not willing to do it. So that's one of the reasons why I started this. But also for me is I don't have a lot of cool equipment or lighting and stuff like that. But I figured while I have 100 followers, 200 followers, I can find my voice. I can, you just dive in the pool. If you put your foot in the water, you're not going to jump in because it's cold. But if you dive in, then you get used to it. So I just wanted to dive in, and then I'll figure out the rest later.
Yeah, if you watch my first several videos, the lighting was terrible. I had no microphone for the longest time. I was using iPhone 7 Plus. It was, I wouldn't get any focus or anything. My early videos, it was trial and error for me too.
Yeah.
That's the best advice I can give when starting out is just try things.
Yeah.
Just try stuff.
But just do it.
just do it. Just people will give you feedback, because I tried 60 FPS on my phone, and the way the focus was going, I had a bunch of, and I asked, please let me know, and everybody was like, no, go back to 30 FPS. So I did. Your audience will let you know, whether that's 20 people or 20,000 people. They will
say that again. I don't even know what you're talking about. 30
frames per second.
30 frames per second. Okay.
FPS is frames per second.
I didn't know that.
So it takes away the higher the frame rate, the less blur you're going to have.
I didn't want to pretend like, oh yeah, like I knew what you were saying, and I didn't want to be fake. So
my apologies. That's me assuming. I assumed, you know.
And maybe somebody watching this will thank me. I didn't know either. Okay, so do you think it's worth to do online videos with so many other people doing them? You know, I know it's kind of, you know, fragrance community is getting saturated. Do you think it's worth doing it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
If nothing else, you do it for yourself. You know, that's how I started this. This was for me. This was a therapy and an outlet for me. It still is. It's just a bunch of people that want to come along with me for the ride at this point. You know, and I'm very thankful for all of that. But at the end of the day, I started this for me.
Thank you. I enjoy it.
Yeah, it's just I'll never tell anybody they shouldn't start some sort of social media account if they're wanting to talk about something that they love.
Yeah. Just go for it.
Not to.
Make yourself happy, you know, but it might be nerve-wracking, but in the end you'll grow from it. And I like the engagement.
I love the engagement. That's the best part.
Let me ask you a tough question that I didn't ask Steve. It kind of came to me today that if I ever did this again, I wanted to ask somebody.
Sure.
There's so many people that I get in my comments. I think they mean well. Scott, it's not about the numbers. Scott, it's not about this. You know, when I start something, I want to make sure I put this right, because I don't want to come across as a jerk, but like when I start something, I'm doing it to succeed, not for it to fail, but I also want to have fun. So like if I play a game of volleyball, I want to win, but I also want to have fun. And I want to win at this too. And maybe somebody else is watching this. Is it a good thing to worry about your counts going up?
I think because I'm a very competitive person and I like to win too. I mean, I was in the sales world for a long time. I mean, that your living depends on you winning in a sales battle between you and the customer. You know, it's the game you play. I'm very heavy into my analytics. I always have been. Matt with Georgia Gent, very heavy into his analytics. He's shorts guy now, you know, in TikTok. That's really his focus now. He's really enjoying that. That's pretty much the main discussion he and I have. We always talk analytics, and because I mean, at the end of the day, you set goals for yourself, and you want to achieve those goals, and you want to take what feedback you get with a grain of salt, because some people are being genuine, some people are being jackasses. You got to learn to distinguish the two, and you really look at what you see and try to form, and then you watch others and you see, well, how can I take a little bit of what's working for him and maybe twist it into my own thing? How can what's working for this person work for me? What can I learn from somebody doing better? You know, it's same thing as when you're practicing in a sport. You want to play against someone better than you.
Yes.
To get better. So it's the same thing. You have to look at all aspects of ways to get better. If you do want to grow, if you do want to succeed at this, it's more than just press and record and talking about a fragrance.
Right.
You know,
people seem to get so bent out of shape. I'm not one of them. I don't get it. They get so bent out of shape about people getting monetized, or you know, you get a little bit of success and you might start like your own fragrance line, say like Dallas or Jeremy or Demi or whatever, and you start something. They seem to get all bent out of shape about it. And I look at it like this. If I can give my opinion, then you chime in. But I look at it like this. It's like you touched on this way back when we first started. You said that you love just making the content and you would just be doing it anyways because you enjoy it and you like it.
Yeah.
And like if you were playing drums and you love to play the drums, I like to draw. Whether someone pays you or buys your artwork or not, you're just going to do it because you love it. And I get that part of it. But like, I'm so glad, because you might call like somebody a sellout, like a rock group. Okay. The Nirvana's a sellout because they signed a contract. Well, there's no glory in sleeping from couch to couch. There's no glory in being poor. And I'm glad he signed a contract, because now I know who Kurt Cobain is and I enjoy his music. And if he would have just kept to himself, I would have never got to hear his music. It was a gift for me. And if you don't like Kurt Cobain, it's not the point. The point is that I'm glad he did that, and he would have done it anyways because he loves it. But I'm glad that he reached the masses because he was able to reach me with it. And that's what I want to do, is get bigger so that I can reach people and they can reach me. And I just don't see the harm in that. Like a lot of people seem to get bent out of shape if you get monetized and become big. And I wondered what your thoughts on that were.
Well, you can't control how people think and feel. And if they genuinely like you, they'll be happy for you when you gain some form of success.
Yeah.
If they like you for selfish reasons, like, oh, he's small, he's not going to be that way. It's not about passion changing.
I've heard that from people, though.
My passion hasn't changed. I love what I do. Love making these videos.
Somebody actually said to me, I only follow the small guys. And I'm like,
and look, that's a mentality. That's an actual mentality. That's why I say that. And once you monetize, some people will stop watching you, and that's fine. If all you want to watch is small channels, then hey, that's your cup of tea. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to attain a certain level of success, or to grow, or to set goals for yourself and achieve them. I'm very goal oriented. I've always been that way, and I'm always going to be that way until I take my last breath. And those that, if and when some form of other level of success comes with this down the line, and that turns somebody off, I mean, that's their prerogative. I'm not going to not do it, because
can't worry about what you can't control.
You have to focus on yourself in this. Yes, you want to be true to your subscriber base and to your followers and those that truly support you, but that's the only people you need to worry about, is those that truly support you.
And I'm asking because I want to know, but I also think it might help somebody out there who may have the same thoughts as well.
You can't. And look, early on, I had that stress of, what will people think if I do this? What will people think if I do that? And would hold back from doing something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And you can't be that way. You can't.
No.
If at the end of the day, I got to go back to what I said a minute ago. I started this channel for me. I didn't start this channel for Scott or for so-and-so. Now you're coming along for the ride with me.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I started this for me, and I'm not going to not do something I want to do. I'm not going to do anything to belittle or betray my followers.
No, but I understand.
I'm going to, obviously that's always taken into consideration, because I want to be truthful with everybody. But if it's something that's going to make me happy, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. I'll just ask you a couple of fun questions, and I'll let you get on with your busy life and your family. What's your favorite fragrance in your collection? Number one.
Oh, God.
That's what Steve said.
Man, that is tough.
You can do three if you want to, or whatever.
I don't think I can do one, because look, Invictus Aqua, at the end of the day, I'm consistent. I love Invictus Aqua.
Do you care about what year it is?
I actually refuse to buy the old bottle because it's outrageous what they want for it.
I don't have an old bottle either.
I love the newer one.
I just picked it up a couple weeks ago, so I'm happy.
Love that fragrance.
Because I'm trying to get my collection straight for the warmer weather, because it comes.
If I had to narrow it down to three, I would probably say Invictus Aqua, obviously Zaharoff Signature Pour On, and Dior Homme Parfum.
Okay, nice.
If I had to just do three, and that also gives me a lot of variety at the same time. That's a good three fragrance collection. Yeah. I could do everything with those three.
Zaharoff's my favorite in my collection, man. The hands down.
Look, Royale has its uses, and so does Noir. They're fantastic fragrances, but I still love the original. That
rose fragrance, ridiculous. I got to smell that rose fragrance, the rosé.
So if you remember the video I did, the tag video recently, that 5 fragrances I'm looking forward to getting this in 2021, and I watched it. I was the first person to show it. If you remember how the print was a little messed up.
Yeah.
George didn't realize my decant was like that. I actually had to send it to the factory that printed those. I don't have it anymore. I had to send it to the factory because he panicked when he saw that, because that's unacceptable for Zaharoff to have the paint rubbing off in certain spots. So that got remedied. So I actually don't have my decant.
Oh, I still have a little.
That's how attention to detail he is. That was unacceptable.
Man, it's nice. It is so nice. And I don't like a lot of rose fragrances, but anyways.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
It is. I can't, is that deep?
It's the rose incense that's in there that makes it smell that way. It goes really
Is it coming
well.
out for springish?
Probably
spring, summer?
Lines of early summer.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
That's what it's looking like.
What would be one thing people would be surprised to know about you? Anything?
I don't know. I'm pretty much an open book.
Yeah, I know, like with Steve, like I don't know if a lot of people knew he had a twin. And he told me he liked to draw.
I'm the third twin. I'm the third
yeah, I know,
twin.
right? Right.
We get that every time we do a video together.
Because he wears the flat billed hats as well.
But even when we don't have a hat on, we brothers. Dang, that's another good question. Good question, Scott. I don't know.
You play you're a video game junkie, right? Or is that
for the most part? I don't have as much time as I would like to play. I try to make time because I actually wanted to start a gaming channel before the fragrance channel.
Yeah. Okay.
The other channel, TG Retro Style, is more of my other hobbies. I like to thrift. I like vintage electronics. I like vintage video games and stuff like that.
Okay.
So it's kind of an extra, the other hobbies on a different.
What's your game of choice?
Specific game?
Yeah.
I don't have a specific game of choice.
Okay.
If I had to go with a legacy game, I would have to say the Street Fighter series.
Okay. So are you a Nintendo guy, a PlayStation? Sega. Okay. Gotcha. I love it.
Yep.
I used to have one of those handheld Segas back in the day in the 90s. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I love that thing a while back.
What's your favorite movie, Ross?
Terminator 2.
Really? Okay. Me and Steve shared the same movie as well. It's crazy how we both like to draw and we both like Gladiator. So I thought that was great.
He's got a graphic design business, J&S Graphics.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That was another thing I was surprised.
He does graphics on the side of police cars. He does all kinds of stuff. Steve is awesome.
Yeah. I know. He's going to school, getting ready to have a baby. He works out every day, posts all those videos of working out. Man, I wish he'd put out more content because I miss him putting out content.
That's why he don't have a lot of time to put out content.
I know. I get it. But I enjoyed his content too. And I learned about him through you because he appeared on your channel. Favorite music or group?
That depends on what I'm doing. So at the gym, it's mostly a lot of Five Finger Death Punch, Disturbed, Godsmack, stuff like that. When I'm just hanging out, Limp Bizkit,
my wife's like
Peppers, stuff like that.
She was back there going, Disturbed. She likes Disturbed.
I love Disturbed. Disturbed is a must when I'm training.
Well, she jumped on board when they did the remake of Silence. That's when she discovered them.
I love 10,000 Fists. That's probably my favorite album from them. And yeah, like I said, when I'm just kind of kicking it, or if I'm editing or something like that, it would be some Chili Peppers, some Limp Bizkit, some Korn, stuff like that.
That's my favorite group, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, I love.
That's mine. Peppers. Yeah. All right. So the last question, and you can like be vague if you want to. But do you have anything big coming up for the channel or for you that you'd like to make an announcement here at the end of the video? I mean, just like kind of tell them to be watching out. You don't have to say what it is or anything exciting coming up that you want to promote.
Well, if you've been paying attention to my Instagram, I do have something special in the works.
I've been paying attention because I said
touch on it much, but
I said, what have we here? And you didn't answer back.
Touch on it much, but those that are paying attention should be able to figure it out for the most part.
Awesome, man. That's exciting.
No, I can't say a whole lot, but
no, I won't. I will respect that.
On Monday, things will be much clearer.
Okay.
On Monday,
awesome,
there's a big announcement coming.
Okay, that's awesome, man. We're looking forward to it. I'm sure everybody is. So good for you, man. And what about the channel? Anything cool coming for the channel, or just same business as usual?
Yeah, business as usual. Daily content. Trying to devote a little bit more time to the other channel as well. I haven't done a video in like 6 days, but it was never going to be a daily content channel anyway. 2 to 3 videos a week, mostly. But this is my baby, my fragrance channel. Thank
you so much, Ross. This is like another pleasure of a lifetime for me.
Pleasure
I
was
hate
all
to
mine, Scott.
I hate to overstate it, and I don't want to seem like a ass kiss. But thank you so much. You've made my nights. I'm probably not going to be able to sleep now, and I really appreciate it. And I want everybody that's following me, and if you'll share it with your followers, please go ahead and subscribe to this man's channel. Subscribe to him on Instagram, guys. I have learned so much about this community and about collecting from you. And you do it right. You do it with integrity. You're genuine. You're real. So I think that's why people are attracted to you. There's nothing fake about it. So guys, please follow this man and show him some love. And I really appreciate you, man. I appreciate
that, Scott. Thank you, man. Thank you for having me and doing this.